Right, a very good morning wherever you are watching us from. I trust you well. You are right on time. Welcome to this particular broadcast, Kirk in the morning, as we always do every Friday. We take a look at what is the state of the nation, matters that are affecting the common Kenyan as well as the political class. And this week there's so much to talk about, including Matiang'i's home raid claims. Of course, there has been much that has come out after an attempt, after a statement by the Azimio Umoja that there was an attempt raid at the home of former Cabinet Secretary for Interior, was Fred Matiang'i. But all that the government insists that did not send anyone to raid at his home. So who is telling the truth? We'll be trying to debunk on that as we continue this particular program, as well as the Azimio Umoja fixing of the House. Of course, in regards to yesterday's parliamentary group meeting, where ODM party leader was also the Azimio Umoja chief, claiming that some of the members of parliament who visited President William Ruto visited because of their self-interest. I believe that is what we'll be talking about as we try to embark on that and give you a glimpse of what exactly happened yesterday. So welcome aboard wherever you are watching us from. My name is Chris Sambo, and we'll be getting in touch. You can get in touch with us because we are streaming live on Facebook at Kirk TV Kenya. We're also streaming live on YouTube at Kirk TV Kenya. Be part of this conversation later. State of the Nation begins in a short while. But for now, we take a look at what is happening on the roads. Right, and just a quick look at what the roads look like this morning. Begin with Langata Road, which is one of the busiest roads, and of course linking into the Central Business District. Doesn't look so much good. Of course, I can see from my map right here there is a lot of traffic, especially in the junction from Bagathi Way, linking to Langata Road, all the way descending into the Central Business District. That is Langata Road. Doesn't look so much good this morning. Just taking a look at yet another road. Mombasa Road doesn't look so much bad this morning. At least there is so much movement. The traffic flow is quite okay. But the Nairobi Expressway, as usual, there is not any traffic. So if you're using the expressway, then you can be guaranteed of getting where you're going quite on time. Looking at Thika Road, as usual, the culprit of Friday traffic, or rather daily traffic, right after KCA University, all the way through Muthaiga, Kenya, through Survey, Kenya Utalii, Muthaiga, and all the way to Pangani. Doesn't look so much good. That is Thika Superhighway. Also Kiambu Road not looking so much good, especially on the interjunction connecting to the Thika Superhighway. So if you can be able to avoid that particular route, then it will be of great importance this morning. That is regards to Thika Superhighway. Just taking a look at yet another road. I'll just cross over and look at what Jogoo Road looks like. Doesn't look so much good as well. I can see from my map, Jogoo Road doesn't look so much good. There is so much snarl-ups at different points. Of course, it is the traffic is moving, but moving quite slowly according to my map right here, especially when you get closer to Nairobi City Stadium, moving all the way to the Central Business District through downtown. Of course, that is matters to do with Jogoo Road. Looking at Ngong Road, doesn't look so much bad this morning. Ngong Road, the traffic flow is quite okay, though different snarl-ups at different points. And yeah, that is what Ngong Road looks like, as well as I'll be taking a look at yet another road here, which links into the Central Business District. That is Parklands Road. Yeah, Parklands Road doesn't look so much good this morning. Of course, I can see some different traffic snarl-ups at different points all the way descending into the Central Business District. That is matters to do with the Parklands Road, which doesn't look so much good. So in general, from the map perspective, many roads don't look so much good. On the Mombasa Road, that looks quite good this morning, and that is what is happening on the road. Perhaps we'll be taking a look later on and see what will be happening as we continue this particular broadcast. All right, and now we take a look at what is in the newspapers this morning. Of course, there is so much that has been written by the dailies. We begin with the Daily Nation. The Daily Nation has so much that is in the front page, of course. That is the picture, the in picture at the top of the Daily Nation of Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga. At the center, or rather the bigger picture on the Daily Nation, is that of former Cabinet Secretary for Interior, that is CS Fred Matiang'i, who yesterday obtained anticipatory bail, and he maintains that police raided his current home on Wednesday night. The government and security agencies have distanced themselves from any such operation, but DC admits ongoing investigations. Was it a police cock-up? Was it stage managed? Or who was behind that particular raid, and for what reason? That story is written by the Daily Nation on pages 6 and 7, of course, highlighting the different statements by different government agencies. In their words, former CS Fred Matiang'i says he was informed of a scheme to arrest him on 30th of January that was crafted in Mombasa. DPP Nordin Haji goes ahead and says that he has looked at his application for anticipatory bail, but he doesn't see anything that adds up to what is perhaps said to be a stage-managed raid. And the Interior CS Kithure Kindiki distances the government from attempted raid on the former CS, while Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga says he was at the home of former CS Fred Matiang'i, and now he witnessed the raid. And all that aside, the Daily Nation has an in-depth of who is fooling whom, of course, an in-depth of that particular story. And the Daily Nation also talks about Raila rallies to take on high food prices in regards to the upcoming rallies by the opposition all over the country that will begin with a climax in Nairobi, descending down to different regions in protest over high food prices as well as taxation. On the side of the Daily Nation talks about higher NSSF rates to take force this month. Workers and employers will start feeling the impact of the new pension contribution rates this month after the National Security Fund yesterday asked employers to comply with the law, raising monthly contributions immediately. That is matters to do with the NSSF, which has been talk of the town as well. Talking about what the Daily Nation has written this morning, of course, as an highlight of what happened yesterday in regards to the Azimio la Umoja parliamentary grouping. On page 4 and 5 talks about ODM senator seeks expulsion of rebels in regards to the members of parliament from the Azimio la Umoja coalition who met President William Ruto, the ODM chief, or rather the Azimio chief Raila Odinga, coming out to term them as traitors as well. And that is what the Daily Nation is talking about on its top page, of course, regarding that particular story. The Daily Nation also has a story on page 11, which is a very quite sad story, which talks about ex-member of county assembly sold poor youth big dreams but stole their cash. Former nearby member of county assembly Martin Wachira, who founded Kumisa Sacco that collapsed 5 years ago with 100 million shillings in shareholders' money. That is a story by the Daily Nation that you need to get a glimpse of in page 11, which talks about a member of county assembly who did not fulfill the promises that he made to the young people as he was voted massively in 2013 in regards to a collapsing of a circle that he founded to help the young people. The Standard newspaper, crossing to the Standard newspaper. At the top of the Standard newspaper talks about the Matiang'i siege. Where lies the truth? On Wednesday night, former Interior says Matiang'i called his lawyers as Azimio la Umoja leader and the media to his house to forestall an impending operation. Of course, the Standard also having its own version of that particular story on pages 4 and 5. Pages 6 and 7 talks about the traitors. That is what Raila referred to the rebels in reference to the members of parliament and leaders of the Azimio la Umoja coalition who met President William Ruto without the authority of the coalition. Chitembwe, how not to be a judge. That is story on page 10 and 11 in reference to the now suspended and Judge Said Juma Chitembwe, who was found guilty of gross misconduct as a judge in regards to cases of corruption as well as conspiracy to commit illegalities as a judge and abuse of office. That is a story written by the Standard newspaper on pages 10 and 11. Page 3 of the Standard newspaper talks about education reforms, family ties that bind Magoha and Machogu. That is in regards to the requiem mass that was done to the late former Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, who succumbed to cardiac arrest later last month, and he will be laid to rest at the end of this week, of course, in his home. Requiem mass done yesterday. Senior government officials showed up to mourn the former Education Cabinet Secretary, and that is what the newspapers have written this morning. Of course, so much to talk about. You can get a copy of the Standard newspaper, the Daily Nation as well as a copy of the People Daily, so that you get a glimpse of the stories that have been written right there. And that is what we have for the newspapers this morning. Up next is our State of the Nation. All right, and now we take a look at news making headline at this particular hour, and we'll be beginning with the top of it all. That is what transpired in regards to the raid at the home of Matiang'i, and that is what we begin at this hour. That the High Court has granted former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i anticipatory bail, barring police from arresting and detaining him. Justice Kanyi Kimondo granted the orders after Dr. Matiang'i moved to court on Thursday morning, claiming that he is under imminent threat of arrest by the police and is justifiably apprehensive that his constitutional rights are being violated. In granting the orders, the court said that the police are at liberty to investigate Matiang'i of any criminal conduct but will not arrest him following the anticipatory bail.
Summoned us with a distress call. We managed to assemble a team of over 200 lawyers. We went to his residence at Karen and found out strange-looking people after the CS. The people could not identify themselves in terms of their identification. The people could not identify themselves in terms of any uniform. The people could not identify the document called a search warrant or a warrant of arrest against the CS. There seems to be a choreographed attack on the former cabinet CSs, including the former head of state. So we will be taking instructions today from the other CSs and the PSS, plus the former head of state, with a view of filing anticipatory bail application for all of them.
We have since filed an application for conservatory orders to issue so that the CS can avail himself in whichever institution that the DCI, that the investigators want him to appear on, so that he can shed information on what aspect of investigation they want to conduct.
Whatever Matiang'i did when he was working, he did it when he was working. If there is anything against him, it's in plain view. Call him in courts. We shall defend him. But we cannot now vilify him. And of course, I know tomorrow it will be Kibicho. The other day will be Professor Wajakoya. We are ready all to go to court. I've been there and I know.
And at the same time, a section of Kenya Kwanza parliamentarians led by the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, hit back at Dr. Matiang'i's claims, terming them as scripted drama. The parliamentarians want the former CS to avail evidence of the alleged police raid, saying the Kenya Kwanza government will always be law-abiding. On the other hand, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation has distanced itself from the claims, DCI boss Mohamed Amin refuting claims that his officers were actually at the scene.
And today they may run scared, but we want to assure them, even as members of parliament, that we will stand to defend their rights. That nobody will harass them, but when the law catches up with you, you will have your day alone and with those who you abuse power with. Therefore, nobody should run scared. Nobody should try to evoke public sympathy. And we want to just advise them to be patient.
So what we are seeing now is the height of desperation when they realize that even what they were building is imploding from within. When they realize that members of parliament, elected leaders, and other people who would have otherwise associated with them no longer want to be associated with causing chaos in this country.
I would like to, from the outset, very clearly state that no officer from the DCI or the National Police Service, for that matter, were deployed to find or arrest Dr. Matiang'i at his residence or anywhere else. I can confirm that the DCI is indeed investigating several cases, but I can confirm that none of the cases under investigation so far have reached the stage which requires the assistance or attendance of Dr. Fred Matiang'i.
And moving on, ODM leader Raila Odinga has called out on opposition leaders meeting President William Ruto, terming them as traitors. Speaking during the Azimio la Umoja parliamentary group meeting in Machakos County, Raila said they should resign from the party and the Azimio coalition. On Monday and Wednesday, some of ODM and Jubilee members of parliament were at State House attending a meeting with President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. During the meeting, Jubilee legislators pledged to work and support President Ruto's led government, Odinga terming it as a backstab to the opposition.
These members who have defected from Azimio coalition need to resign their positions. If you want to go and see Mr. President as a person of in State House, go. But if you want to go and talk about issues that affect the party, then you must be given permission by the party before you go to see the president. What you see, these people must be seen for what they are, traitors in the cause of a revolution.
At the same time, Raila Odinga has criticized President Ruto's move to summon members of parliament at State House for perceived development agenda. Odinga saying gone are the days when leaders would beg the president for development agendas, saying that parliament now oversees all development budget allocations. The Azimio la Umoja leader lashing out at claims by ODM members of parliament who met the president that they were on a development agenda.
New dangerous phenomenon developing, that members of parliament are approaching the executive supposedly for development in their constituencies. Under our current constitutional dispensation, the resources are being actually allocated by parliament. So the days when members of parliament used to go and see Mtukufu Rais Nyayo, ati ulituahidia sisi utaleta mradi ya maji hapa, utajenga local housing hii hapa, barabara hii itatengenezwa, kwenda piga magoti chini kwa rais alete maendeleo, imekwisha.
All right, and those are some of the stories at this hour. Of course, we'll be dwelling much on that as we continue this program, because up next is the State of the Nation, already my guest in studio. So we'll be taking a very short commercial break. Then when we get back, we'll be getting back to our discussion this morning on the State of the Nation.
Kirk TV is a place to be. Let us build our own brand. Let us labor for this, because this is where the true mission is, and therefore partner with us. Keep it at Kirk, and we'll go far together.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand the experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there's today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to mold our boys in Christian values, and we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pceaenoboothboys@gmail.com.
The Presbyterian Church Men Fellowship, PCMF, welcomes all PCMF readers to the annual Readers Conference year 20.
Kirk TV is a place to be. Let us build our own brand. Let us labor for this, because this is where the true mission is, and therefore partner with us. Keep it at Kirk, and we'll go far together.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there's today and tomorrow.
All right, welcome back again to Kirk in the Morning. Now we get into a discussion on the state of the nation. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Kirk TV Kenya and YouTube at Kirk TV Kenya. You can be part of this particular discussion. This morning we talk about everything that has transpired in the last 2 days, of course, in regards to the Azimio la Umoja fixing of the house, as well as the Matiang'i home raid claims, an attempt that he was to be arrested on Wednesday night. What was the meaning of that, and who is fooling who? That is our discussion this morning. And my guest in studio, I'll be talking to Ezekiel Isanda, who is already in studio, political analyst. Karibu sana kwenye studio zetu.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm told our other guest, Joseph Kagai, is a leadership consultant. He is on his way, and anytime he'll be joining us, we'll be getting in this particular conversation. But so to begin with, on Wednesday night, claims come out that there was an attempt to arrest former Cabinet Secretary for Interior, that is Fred Matiang'i, and his lawyers come out to defend him strongly, saying that that is an attempt by the government, to arrest him illegally. But this is what the lawyers had to say yesterday when they went to the court seeking anticipatory bail.
Interior summoned us with a distress call. We managed to assemble a team of over 200 lawyers. We went to his residence at Karen and found out strange-looking people after the CS. The people could not identify themselves in terms of their identification. The people could not identify themselves in terms of any uniform. The people could not identify the document called a search warrant or a warrant of arrest against the CS. There seems to be a choreographed attack on the former cabinet CSs, including the former head of state. So we will be taking instructions today from the other CSs and the PSS, plus the former head of state. with a view of filing anticipatory bail application for all of them.
We have since filed an application for conservatory orders to issue so that the CS can avail himself in whichever institution that the DCI, that the investigators want him to appear on, so that he can shed information on what aspect of investigation they want to conduct.
Whatever Matiang'i did when he was working, he did it when he was working. If there is anything against him, it's in plain view. Call him in courts. We shall defend him. But we cannot now vilify him. And of course, I know tomorrow it will be Kibicho. The other day will be Professor Wajakoya. We are ready all to go to court. I've been there
and today they may run scared, but we want to assure them, even as members of parliament, that we will stand to defend their rights. That nobody will harass them, but when the law catches up with you, you will have your day alone and with those you abuse power with. Therefore, nobody should run scared. Nobody should try to evoke public sympathy. And we want to just advise them to be patient.
So what we are seeing now is the height of desperation when they realize that even what they were building is imploding from within. When they realize that members of parliament, elected leaders, and other people who would have otherwise associated with them no longer want to be associated with causing chaos in this country.
I would like to...
Right, and that is the statement by both the Matiang'i-led team and the government position. Matiang'i says there was an attempt to arrest him. The government comes out and says, can you produce any tangible evidence that there was a raid at your home and that you don't need to fear, we shall protect you. But when it comes to time that the law has to catch up with you, you must answer. And I think that clip was cut short when the DCI boss, was speaking, and in his statement he said that indeed we are making and we are doing some of the investigations, but none so far that has involved the former CS. What do you make of that particular, of those particular claims, or rather just a simple question, who is fooling who?
I think Azimio is fooling Kenyans, and it is just the way it is, because we try to resist political deception. If somebody wanted to arrest the former CS, Mr. Matiang'i, we have a constitution that spells out very clearly what needs to be done when somebody needs to appear before court or needs to be arrested. But we saw none of that. We did not see any police vehicle. We did not see any policeman. So for the Azimio people to have said that they have a pack of 200 lawyers, I did not see the 200 lawyers. I did not see a single police vehicle. I did not see a single instruction from the Minister of Interior saying that they will need to arrest Mr. Matiang'i. So I think we know Azimio. They're used to the political gimmicks and side shows to divert the attention of Kenyans to the things that matter. So I don't think that that those allegations that they were saying that Matiang'i was to be arrested, they don't hold any water, and we don't even take it seriously, because we have a constitution. The constitution is very clear that if you are to be arrested, these are the procedures. The penal code is very clear, and I don't think that, in my view, that what Azimio was saying was true. And just also to add on that, I think a few days ago you saw the leader of Azimio daring the president, come and arrest me. And then a few days fast forward, we see a choreographed event to show that, to try and paint the government in bad light. And I don't think that that is right. It is not right. And I think, for me, I would say Mr. Matiang'i should come out and make a statement, a very clear statement, on who actually visited his house, because he has a right to welcome people in his house, just like any other person.
And talking about that, someone would be wondering, why then would someone of his caliber, of course a very senior citizen, make such claims? What is the benefit of, perhaps stage managing an attempted raid at his home?
Definitely. I think that what comes out very clearly is trying to draw public sympathy. And as you have seen, the DCI has said very clearly that there are investigations going on about a few cases. We heard about the Raraka land case and a few cases. So I think, how would you even anticipate an arrest and say that I'm going to move to court to anticipate an arrest before there is an official communication to you or things to say that you want to be arrested? So I think all this is just about trying to make the public want to sympathize with them, because now they have run out of ideas, they have run out of the arsenal. The last gun was fired in 2022. It was misfired, and they have nothing to do. So I don't think they are trying to draw any form of development agenda. They just want to scuttle and get the common wananchi saying, oh, these people are being hurt, look what the government is doing. Because I think the president also said very clearly during the campaigns, the then Deputy President, His Excellency William Ruto, he said very clearly that the days of using the police to settle political scores are over. So we cannot promise that in our plan and then a few months down the line start using the police to intimidate our opposition. That is not happening. So it just public sympathy. And so come out with evidence, show us the evidence, and Mwananchi will make a decision on himself or herself.
In regards to that as well, talking about a stage managed and the calls of please bring us the evidence. But if you go by the conduct of the CS, especially during the past regime, and you could hear even the politicians now in government saying that you need to tread carefully because you might be in this position today and then you're not in that position tomorrow. And mind you, if anything goes against all odds and we get into government, then you shall face it up. Is it not what we are saying right now, starting, despite the president affirmation that I'm not going to use the police against you, but there is still that difference between the current government and now the conduct of the past years?
I think if you look at that, if you were to ask yourself as a Kenyan, the Kenyan is protected by the law, and every Kenyan has a right. Whether you are a CS, whether you are a president, we do not live above the law. The law is above everybody, and nobody is above the law. So if you are a CS, for example, and you are obeying the law, you're following the law in the execution of your mandate, you shouldn't be worried that if you are voted out. We have seen world economies like the UK and the US. You don't have to worry about the other government intimidating you. So I don't think, in my view, we want to, people want to go to bed with government or speak positive of the government so that they can then be rewarded by being protected by the future governments. That's not how it works. The 2010 Constitution says you have a right of association, you have a right to live peacefully, you have a right to be protected, and whatever you do in the course of your mandate, whether you are a CS or a government officer, you shouldn't be worried that after getting out you will be intimidated. I think that is a narrative that Azimio is trying to build in order to destabilize government, and that is not true, because we follow the law, we obey the law, we respect the law, and that's the way it is. Yes.
And talking about Azimio trying to destabilize the government, the Azimio has called out the government, for not perhaps fulfilling its own promises, say within the period that they had stipulated, and now calling out for a firm opposition. Listening to the president talked about, if you are in opposition, please do your work. Yeah. But then the question would be, now the opposition has picked a firm ground, but now the president and his team are as well, in quotes, wailing. What is the situation?
We want an opposition. We don't want the Nusumkate things that Azimio is used to. We don't want the handshake things that Azimio is used to. We want a functioning government. We want a functioning executive and all arms of the government. And we also want to be checked. And we want to be criticized, but we want to be criticized positively. And that's why, you know, if you remember the discourse about BBI and winner takes it all stories, the government was actually being fair and saying that instead of having these people with full of experiences being left in the village to rot because they lost election, why don't you create? Why can't we create an opposition, an office of the opposition, so that also the leader of the opposition can also go to the to Parliament and also answer questions to and also keep government to check. So in terms of promising what we promised that we want a vibrant opposition, and it can only be vibrant if it is well resourced. We don't want backing dogs. We just want an opposition that makes sure that the government is kept to check. So we're not trying to scatter the opposition. We're not trying to dismantle the opposition. We want them to do it, but do it within the precinct and the corridors of the law of the land. We do not want sideshows. Because you notice yesterday the leader of Azimio, Honorable retired Prime Minister, said that they are going to agitate. And they're going to do meetings every day, from Busia to Narok to where. I mean, the campaign period has ended. It is time now to allow us to deliver on the mandate that we were given by the people of Kenya. And that's how it should be. The time of rallies and political meetings is over. Kenya cannot be all through be subjected to campaigning periods, because when shall we ever sit down and say, okay, that water pipe needs to be fixed, that road needs to be done? We'll never sit down and do that if we politic all the time. So all I'm asking as Mio is, let us tone it down, let us do it, let us have some civility in how we handle our things, and we know if you criticize us positively, we will bring you on the table and we'll sit down. But what we can promise Azimio is that, as the president said, and it was very clear, there will be no handshake. There will be no Nusumkate. Opposition will be opposition. We will again go to the elections in 2027, and we will ask for the mandate from the people again. If they give us, we thank God, we move on. If they don't give us, we become opposition, we check the government.
And talking about that, you know, in his own words, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga said that you do your work. Stop complaining about our opposition. Yeah. Just do your work. We will not interfere with what you are doing, but allow us to do what we can do best. And we shall be meeting people to talk to them about the conduct of the government, so that they give us a position for us to, you know, to keep the government on check. When the government comes out and says that we don't need these sideshows, the political rallies and all that, but the ODM chief says that we cannot run away from politicking as a country, that we need to keep politicking so that we keep the government on check. What do you make of those, man?
I don't think that is what they're doing. They are promising milk and taking wine. We are expecting the Mavoko declaration. The Mavoko declaration is that, if I was to preempt, they were saying that they did not believe in the government. They did not believe that this government was legitimately elected, and therefore they are pushing and agitating for some rights that we do not understand. I honestly do not think that that is what is coming across. And you will notice, and bear me witness, because we shall be in this country in the next few days, you will run those clips of the Mavoko meeting, of the Busia meeting, of the Narok meeting, and you will see for yourself the pronouncements that the leaders of Azimio will be making. They will be not about having a conversation with Mwananchi, as you say. It will be about, you know, now they are, look, sympathy, they are arresting us. Now they want to arrest, I don't know, all the people in Azimio. And you saw, Eugene Omalo was actually saying yesterday that Raila, Right Honorable Raila should know Wamalo's home, so that because everybody is anticipating arrest. Now the question begs, here's the question. Why are you scared? Why are you already running to the police in anticipation of being arrested? And the DCI is saying very clearly there are investigations that are going on. Those investigations have not reached a stage where we shall ask you to come and sit on the table with us to substantiate these claims. So why are you guilty? The first question, why are you guilty? Why are you running around? I mean, sit down, hold, you have your members of parliament. And it is very clear how to do it. In parliament, it is very clear how to do it. Call a press conference, but to try and portray the Kenya Kwanza government as a government that is already, does not respect the human rights of people and people who, to just try and paint us that we are bad people, I think it is not true. And we have said, and we will keep saying that if that is the road that we want, that ASMI wants to go, we will listen to them. But as Kindiki said, Honorable Kindiki said a few days ago, people can picket, people can riot, people can do all manner of things. But when they break the law, the security apparatus will catch up with them. And if Matiang'i, for example, broke the law during his execution of the mandate of a minister, the law will take its course. The lawyers are fighting on the bar. They don't fight on the streets. You go before a court of law, before a judge, and then the judge issues a statement to say this is what he has done. You defend yourself. You don't do it on the streets. Street courts will not earn you freedom. Do it in the courts, and then the judge will be fair. The judge doesn't follow; he follows the constitution. The law is very clear. So I'm not uneasy from where I sit. I think we are used to them. We saw them in 1997 in the Moi government. We saw them in the Kibaki government. We saw them in the handshake government, and we know them. Even as they say they know us, we know them.
Talking about that, because I'm told we'll be taking a short break in the next, say, 5 minutes. Yeah. But before we take that break, let's talk about, the aspect that ASMI is raising. And one of the agendas that they're putting as pronouncement in their political rallies is that there is the government is putting in high punitive taxation. The government has failed to lower the cost of living despite the months that they've been in government as well. And things to do with such as that of NSSF, an increment of the contributions, that is what the ASMI Umoja is raising. From where you sit, is it not that proper opposition, or rather proper put of government on check? If you think about the economy of Kenya right now, and where the shilling is right now, and where the shilling is trading against all the international currencies, the truth is that we inherited a failed government. We inherited a government that was on its knees. And this government of Kenya Kwanza is not going to do quick fixes. We are not going to subject people to subsidies, and the subsidies ending up in the pockets of rich people in this country. So, they should allow us to do our work. The cost of living is slowly coming down. There is a story that they are saying that the government is broke. It is true that the government could not be having enough money to manage its commitments, but these are things that cannot be done in 1 day or two. And we promised within the 100 days, if you remember on the campaign trail, that the government will end subsidies. There will be money in the pockets of Mwananchi through the Hustler Fund, and that was launched. You saw all the ministers were asked to give their scorecard, their 100-day scorecard. And we have seen right now, if you go to the fertilizer shops in NCPB, you will be able to find subsidized fertilizers. These are the things we promised the people of Kenya. And these are the things, if you look at the way we have done it, we have really managed to bring the cost of living to a level where we are managing resources. So I do not want to make it look like we cannot deliver, but the truth is that we received
and we picked and inherited a dilapidated government. And we have to start from somewhere. If maybe 1 year or two, and the shilling is still looking the way it is, then you will say this government has failed. But the Honorable President has really tried in appointments, in making sure that there's equitable share of resources, in making sure that the Mwananchi has money, in making sure that we come out of these plastic subsidies, or maize subsidy, or you have fuel subsidies. Let us do it step by step. And you know, in finances, when you're managing your finances, when you are in debt, you start by saving slowly by slowly. You don't save in 100 days and say, okay, now I'm credit worthy. Kenya is still not yet credit worthy, but we are making steps towards getting ourselves into that. And then, just to make the last point, remember we were borrowing at about 900 to about that billion shillings a year to finance the gaps that were in the budget. And right now, if you look in the current budget, the president has insisted that we must cut costs, and we are trying to get 300 billion shillings set aside, so that we do not want to have every time to borrow money to pay salaries. You don't borrow money to buy bread. You borrow money to do business so that you get profit. And I think that is how we're looking at the matrix of the economy. And we shall deliver, and we have been delivering. The Hustler Fund is running, fertilizer is running, Kenya is now peaceful, our foreign policy is running, and I think there is light in the tunnel.
But the people that voted in the government are seated somewhere and wondering. He said that when I put that Bible down, the price of hunger will come down. Yeah. When I put that Bible down, you know, I'll reduce the cost of electricity. I will also reduce, you know, the cost of basic commodities. But can we talk reality that nothing has been done in that regard?
Yes, I have said very clearly that it will not be a quick fix. When I say that after I put that Bible down, I will then try and work out, because there were problems already with power. There were problems with taxes. You know, some people were evading to pay tax, and tax was going in the right, not in the right hands. So these things we have contemplated. And if you look at, I think the first few days of Honorable His Excellency President's days in State House, he issued an executive order to end the subsidies. That subsidy, you remember the 100 shillings mfuko wa unga. I mean, you go to Naivas or any supermarket, that unga was not there. But the subsidy, the 7 billion shillings, had been given by government to the miller so that they can bring down the cost of unga. It didn't happen. Right now, as you speak, it is very warm. It is very hot. Kenya is going through, the sub-Saharan countries are going through very severe drought. And those are things that impact on food production. Those are natural things that we cannot say it is us who did not lower the cost of unga down. We are working towards making sure that the Galana Kulalu irrigation scheme produces, and when the rains come, we are now preparing we are tilling land. Fertilizer, the government has already given subsidized fertilizers. So if you look at the way we are making, you know, the children's steps we are making towards making sure that we have food security in the next few months. You honestly cannot plant maize today and then in the morning wake up the following morning and say, okay, now I'm harvesting. It has to take baby steps, and I am sure we will get there.
And at that point, we'll be taking a very short break, because I'm told we are due for a short commercial break. But before we take that particular break, of course, we were talking about something to do with Matiang'i. And I picked out a tweet, that is what I was looking for, from the Senator Kiprotich Arap Cherargei.
Yes.
He's a Nandi senator. Yes. I can see you smiling because you know exactly that tweet is not very good. And he says, Matiang'i used to order my arrest at night on 21st of April 2022, and I was detained at Capitol Hill Police Station at 6 p.m. and later Gigiri Police Station up to the following Monday, despite court orders to the contrary. What is so special about him bado safari ni mbali, alambe glucose.
Yes.
That is Senator Gerard Gay.
Yeah.
We're taking a very short commercial break. Then I'll be taking your thoughts on that particular tweet.
Yes.
Because I can see you smiling all through because you know what that means.
Exactly.
We're taking a very short commercial break, but don't go far away because when we return, we'll be talking the rest of the matters to do with the state of the nation.
Kirk TV is a place to be. Let us build our own brand. Let us labor for this because this is where the true mission is, and therefore partner with us. Keep it at Kirk and we'll go far together.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there's today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to put our boys in Christian values And we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pcea@gmail.com.
All right, welcome back to Kirk in the Morning, our discussion this morning on the state of the nation. Before we took a very short break, we were talking about, how the government has been criticized on high taxation and putting in punitive tax measures. And I ask you, Bwana Isanda, is it necessary for the government, to put the measures that they have put in terms of taxation? Because it is clearly that the burden, and the president said that we cannot borrow, and the burden must come back to us. We must carry the burden. Kenyans now carrying the burden of taxation. Is that what we need as a country?
I think if I was to respond to that question, we have not increased taxes. The government has not increased taxes. What the government has done is to increase the tax base and to rope in the people who are evading to pay tax. And it was well in the media. And even the former First Lady commented on the matter. It is to increase the tax, because when you increase the tax base, the more taxes are paid to KRA, and the government will have enough resources to be able to run government. Because we do not want to have a scenario where we are borrowing to pay recurrent expenditures like salaries and food and things like that. So I don't think, I think it's a fallacy to say that the government has increased taxes. It is not true that the government has increased taxes. This government asked to be allowed to be voted in on the platform of the bottom up, so that the lower pyramid of common mwananchi is protected by putting money in their pockets, not taxing them too much, and also trying to enable opportunities to happen, and employment and development down on the pyramid, instead of having to go on the higher pyramid. Because when the lower pyramid is empowered, then automatically the SMEs will grow. It will be easy to do business within the business environment, and that way the taxes will automatically come. So I think it is widening the base, encouraging people to pay taxes, whether you are big or whether you are small. Just be able to pay the little that you pay, and then we'll be able to grow whatever we want to grow. I think you might be alluding to the story about NHIF and the increase of the rates from 200 to 2,000. That was a case that happened before. NHIF went to court before even we took government, and we said we are a government that respects the rule of law. The law must take its course. And now that the courts have pronounced themselves on the matter, and they have said that they have allowed NHIF to increase the rates. I think
NSSF in that case.
Yeah, yes. Most of them have now asked for public participation. So it is a process. The presidency and the government is very keen on protecting the common mwananchi, because it is the bottom-up approach that we are using. We do not want to empower mwananchi pale chini by exerting more pressure on them, because that will not work. We shall just be hated, and we shall be a failed state, and that's not the intention of the Kenya Kwanza government.
There's something that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga said yesterday, but before I quote him, let's take a listen in to what President William Ruto had to say in regards, to the taxation of the Kenyans.
Mimi nauliza nyinyi, si nyinyi mnalipa ushuru? Si ukienda kununua kimbo unalipa ushuru? Si ukienda kununua mkate unalipa ushuru? Mnataka wale wadosi wakose kulipa ushuru? Watu wawache nani? Tunaelewana? Ndio mimi nimesema Kenya sio animal farm. Kenya ni nchi, sisi wote tuko sawa mbele ya katiba na sheria. Si ni kweli? Na mimi nafurahi kwamba sasa Wakenya wote wamekubaliana hakuna mambo ya waiver ya tax. Kila mtu awe mrefu mfupi, awe tajiri maskini, awe anajulikana hajulikani, awe mweupe mwembamba, kila mtu atalipa ushuru kwa Kenya yetu. Tuko pamoja hapo? Lakini mimi nafurahi sana hata wale wadosi wamekubali ya kwamba ushuru watalipa. Hiyo maneno mzuri kabisa. Hapo tuendanishe na hapo.
The president is talking about wale wadosi wamekubali kulipa ushuru. Who is he referring to wadosi?
I think it was on...
First of all, it's the increase of the tax base.
Yes.
Then he's portraying that there are some wadosi that have not been paying taxes. What is this reference to?
Is of course, we saw in the media and some documents, some very classified documents came out a few weeks ago. I mean, I think last week, about some organizations and some family entities not being able to, not paying taxes. And as the president has said, he has said that he has had a conversation with them. They have agreed. The NCBA bank the other day agreed to pay the money that was they were supposed to pay the government in terms of taxes when they did the deal of when it was merged and bought. So he's talking about the big corporations. He's talking about because I'm a political analyst, I put it as it is. He's talking about the Kenyatta family, and you saw the honorable former first lady saying that she's ready to pay tax, and she has been paying tax, and she has said that if she's not paying tax, the law should be followed, and her property should be sold.
I think we can listen into what she said.
Yes.
I think we have that clip. We can listen into what she said on that particular clip.
Lazima hiyo vitu yako itachukuliwa, itauzwa. Si ndio hiyo sheria ya serikali? Kwa hivyo hakuna haja na ile laini ya kufanya kazi hiyo iko. Hakuna mambo ya ati kuharibia wale wengine majina na nini, hiyo sio kweli. Na watu wanajua hawasemi kweli. Wanataka tu kusema ndio wasikike, ati wanataja majina na makampuni. Walipe nini hii?
That is the former first lady that you are referring to, of course, Mama Ngina Kenyatta. And he's talking about they're just mentioning names for them to be heard. Well, they know there is the law that they should follow if at all someone has not paid taxes. Don't you feel that there is some sort of pursuit on the former president when you listen to what she's talking about, that there is a law, if someone has not paid taxes, of course there is law and it should be followed, vis-a-vis coming out to mention that these and these and these is not paying taxes, these and these is not paying tax, other than just taking the law of its course?
Yeah, I think and we want to thank, we are very grateful for former First Lady, for the sacrifices they made to this country, and we are wishing her well in her retirement, in her old age. We are very happy to see that she is doing well and she can stand and say hi to people. That is, she's a national treasure, and we really respect her. That said and done, is I don't think there is witch hunt. I don't think there is trying to bring down the former president and what he has done. There is a contradiction in what we have just seen. If the NCBA bank, which is associated with the first former, the Kenyatta family, agreed in media that they are going to comply with the law, And you have just seen the president saying that those big bosses have accepted to pay to pay the taxes. They have agreed. So the contradiction is that if they are saying why did they pay 6 years ago or 10 years ago when the deal was being done? And you as Mwananchi, you have a responsibility to pay taxes. You have a responsibility to go to the taxman. Don't wait for the taxman to come to you and say, hey, you are evading taxes. You are supposed to go to the taxman and say, this is how I traded. This is my net income, I'm now declaring taxes. But if you keep quiet for many years and purport to benefit from the current government because you are now in power, then you fail to pay taxes. These are the things that roll the country back, because these are the things that make the country broke. These are the things that make us go to borrow money from outside to finance us when we are not broke. Mm-hmm. We are not broke. Mm-hmm. So I don't think every Kenyan should pay taxes, whether big or small, and the president has been very clear that this is not an animal farm where some animals are special or better than the others. We breathe the same oxygen, tunapigwa na the same sun, so let us pay taxes. Mm-hmm. Because the way KRA says, kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. Mm-hmm. When we pay the taxes, we shall be self-reliant. Mm-hmm. And when we reduce the debt, the external debt, a lot will happen in this country. Even the cost of living will come down, and the access to commodities will come down, and inflation will be kept in check.
Mm-hmm. And talking about that, we shift now gears and take a look at yet another bigger issue in the state of the nation. Let's talk about the opposition versus the government. This is what came out yesterday from the Azimio la Umoja parliamentary group meeting. That the president is now poking holes in the opposition, trying to weaken it by, quietly summoning members of parliament to State House and telling them that, we need to get development. He's calling them on a perceived development agenda. But all the same, the opposition is saying that the president is trying to weaken up. I think we can listen into what the Right Honorable Raila Odinga said in regards to, members of parliament going to beg the president, so to say. We can listen in and get to our conversation.
New dangerous phenomenon developing that members of parliament are approaching the executive supposedly for development in their constituencies. Under our current constitutional dispensation, the resources are being actually allocated by parliament. So the days when members of parliament used to go and see Mtukufu Rais Nyayo, ati ulituahidia sisi utaleta mradi ya maji hapa, utajenga low cost housing hii hapa, barabara hii itatengenezwa, kwenda piga magoti chini kwa rais alete maendeleo, imekwisha. These members who have defected from Azimio coalition need to resign their positions. If you want to go and see Mr. President as a person of in State House, go. But if you want to go and talk about issues that affect the party, then you must be given permission by the party before you go to see the president. What you see, these people must be seen for what they are, traitors in the cause of a revolution.
You can see and you can hear what the Azimio chief is talking about, and is frustrated by the move by the president and what he's trying to do, calling some members even from his own party and calling them in status and, trying to portray a picture that these members have isolated their leader because perhaps he's not driving the right direction and now they are coming into government. What does that mean for the opposition? Now, when you talked about the opposition having a farm office for them to defend and keep the government on check, but now he is the president summoning some of these members of parliament and trying to weaken the opposition.
I will respond. That's a very interesting question. I will respond with a two-pronged strategy. Number one, I would say the president is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He is the president of all Kenyans, including MPs. The members of parliament have been elected on behalf to go and lead and support and fight for resources on behalf of their people. And therefore, a president being a public figure, I mean, you can request and walk into request for an appointment to see the president. Nobody stops you from doing that. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He is not the president of Kenya Kwanza. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya, and he has a right to see members of parliament, to canvass and to build up the development agenda of this country, and also to get to hear what the common Mwananchi is saying. The president cannot be everywhere all the time. So I think victimizing members of parliament for going to see the president is actually it is a deception, because history will judge us, and when history judges, it judges very harshly. You know who went to the State House when they were in ODM, who went and shook hands on the stairs of the presidency in Harambee House, and they shook hands in the name of the BBI. You know very well the Nusu Mkate government. You know very well the LDP merger with KANU that time, 1997. So all these things, we need not to, let us not be deceptive. We respect the right honorable president, right honorable prime minister, for the things he has done for this country and the agitation. When he talks about the revolution, he is a revolutionist, we know, but do it within the course of law. Don't meet the president, an ex-president, you met them last time, without permission. Did you seek permission from the ODM to go and seek the president? No. So the president has access, and he has a right. And if we narrow down to the issue of Jalango and what happened yesterday, I mean, that is uncalled for. I think ODM should delete the word democratic from the ODM name, because that is not democracy. We have MPs who went to see the president. It was not Jalango alone. The Jubilee members of parliament have seen the president many times. They have not been victimized. I hear Honorable Kioni knocking Supurias. I don't know what is happening with him, but victimizing members of parliament and demeaning them the way Honorable Jalango was demeaned yesterday is wrong. And this is how the country will have been run. I mean, this is how a banana republic. This is how, had they been given a chance to run this country, this is how they'll be doing it. That was a member of parliament being pushed around by goons. Totally wrong.
But shouldn't he not, operate in respective to the party that put him in that position or in that capacity that has enabled him to meet the government?
He's been operating, and as I said, he did not go alone. There were several members of parliament. We did not see all of them hounded out. We did not see Honorable Jenda and all the people. In fact, even Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka was even quoted having said that Honorable Gideon called him to ask for permission to go and see the president. So to pick one person and to victimize that one person because he is a young person, he's a new MP, and they decided to rain their might on him, it is utterly wrong. It does show that there is no democracy in Azimio. The thing is collapsing. It is falling apart. The Azimio Jubilee members have left. A section of Azimio MPs from ODM have also left. The thing is collapsing. Mzee Baba is becoming dismantled.
But it's collapsing because he's saying that the government, or rather the president, has found a way of buying off opposition members of parliament. Even in his own statement yesterday, he talked about the president has turned out, in a spirited fight to weaken the opposition by buying some of the members of parliament. In that regard, you see, when you look at the operations of the opposition and that of the government, shouldn't the opposition members of parliament stand firm to what the opposition stands for in regards to keeping the government on check, other than standing today we see you affirming what the opposition is saying, and tomorrow we see you saying that we have agreed to work with the government? Should there be a laying ground where opposition leaders should operate from, especially for MPs, maybe those that are going to State House and meet the president?
I would say two wrongs don't make a right. For the Azimio people and the way they operate, you cannot say that the president summoned you and then you went. They are not puppets. They are members of parliament. They are actually legislatures. They are the ones who make laws for this country. I think the president did not put a gun on their head and say, now you must come and see me. You have a right as a Kenyan to say, I will go or I will not go. That is number one. Number two, as I've said, the president is the president of this country. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya. And this country has, we have three arms of government. We have the legislature, we have the executive, and we have the judiciary. So these are part of government. So even the MPs are part of government. And to say that the president is trying to weaken the opposition, actually, Baba is taking us back to the Nyayoism days, when the presidency was a selection of the few. And you saw in the past regime, and even in the late Honorable Kibaki's regime, you saw the presidency was separated from people who have been forgotten. Nyanza was forgotten, the Luya land was forgotten, part of coast, and the places that were perceived opposition strongholds were discriminated against in terms of development. You wouldn't see the president, and if you came from his tribe, you would be able to see the president. I think that is something that this current presidency is trying to change. That the president is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He is his mandate is to all the people of the government, the members of parliament, and so we do not want to see a scenario where only resources go to the perceived Kenya Kwanza friendly places. We do not want to see that. We want to see a Kenya that is equitable. There is no discrimination. If Azimio wants to go and see the president, they can go and see the president. And as I've said, my good friend, as I've said, you will see, history will judge him harsh. He is the one who has been going to the presidency to ask for kuombaomba, the way he says kuombaomba. He is the one who did that. And we are trying to say that as a country, as Kenya Kwanza, let us widen the development agenda. The members of parliament and even the governors have seen the president many times going to fight for their development issues. They did not go to ask for handouts. That is not true. Jalango went to ask for the people of Langata. He did not go to ask for handouts from the presidency. And victimizing the person, it is not good. I also saw there was a letter that was going around but that was signed by the ODM Secretary General, saying that a number of MPs have been expelled. I mean, how do you expel them even without even subjecting them to due process? It shows that Azimio would have put this country in a very, very tight corner. And that's why we are saying, let us not do things that way. We have the laws, we have the structures in place, and that is how we should be able to run the government, not through intimidation and falsehood that we are seeing, and theatrics that we are seeing this opposition engage us in. Yes.
I think I'm told time is up, and that is why we're going to wind up that particular this particular conversation with your statement of theatrics and all that. I think it's a good point to wind up this particular conversation. Thank you so much, Ezekiel Isanda, political analyst, for coming in and having this conversation this morning.
Thank you.
And that is where we wind up our conversation on the state of the nation. In regards to what has been happening, of course, thank you so much for also making time to catch this particular discussion. But just to remind you that the show is not done yet, because when we return back on the next segment, we'll be talking about matters to do with Entertainment Friday. So stay with us, don't go far away. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. But for now, we're done with the state of the nation.
Oh, we forgot Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk TV is a place to be. Let us build our own brand. Let us labor for this, because this is where the true mission is, and therefore partner with us. Keep it at Kirk, and we'll go far together.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there is today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to mold our boys in Christian values, and we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pcea@enoboothboys@gmail.com.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today,
I would like them to know there's today and tomorrow.
Greetings to all of you who watch Kirk TV programs. I said you Christian love and peace from all the Kirk family and the entire ministry. Since God gave us this Kirk TV, which is a very competent means of reaching people in and outside Kenya, Kirk TV is undoubtedly giving good and effective services to many people wherever our signal reaches. It is evident that God is at work through Kirk TV. We therefore need your loving support through your continuous prayers. We also appeal passionately for your generous financial support to help us be on air as the Lord will require us to do and to be. Please plan to give regularly. Please give occasionally. Or you can begin to give a one-time gift. The scripture is right that you will be made rich in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion, and your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. Please respond to this genuine, urgent appeal. Kindly be a Kirk TV partner. May God bless you abundantly as we join hands to do this good work.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have
ulichoanzisha ndani yangu, hakuna awezaye kuzuia. Ulichobariki wewe Yesu, hakuna awezaye kulaani. Umetenda, Bwana wangu Yesu, hujawahi shinda. Wewe ni mwema.
right. Welcome back to Kirk in the Morning entertainment segment. Our guest artist already yuko kwenye studio, Catherine K Music. Karibu sana kwenye studio zetu.
Asante.
And good to see you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And perhaps mtu amekuona mara ya kwanza, tuanze tu hapa like who is Catherine K Music?
Okay, Catherine K ni mke, mama, nimeokoka na pia mimi ni mwanabiashara na mimi ni mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili.
And talking about mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili, kuna mtu ambaye anakutazama sasa hivi, maybe ameona ngoma yako ya kwanza kabisa na amesikia kwamba there's music that has played right about now, na amekuangalia akasema kwamba ngoma zako imependeza. Tuanzie hapa, safari yako ya muziki, where did it all start?
Okay, yangu ilianza kama talent zamani, but ni vile bado haikuwa imechipuka. Cause I really loved music, na music imekuanga kwa maisha yangu for juu imenisaidia kwa mambo mingi, like kuna wakati nilikuwa na depression. Mimi niliona music ikini-heal. Music ni dawa, na huwa ina minister to people in a different way. So I may say kuingia kwa studio rasmi ilikuwa back in 2020, wakati wa corona. Hiyo ndio sifa ya 2020. So huo ndo wakati wenye nilianza sasa kuandika nyimbo, zikawa zinanikujia naandika. And katikati ya mwaka nikaenda studio, nikarekodi, nikatoa wimbo wangu wa kwanza the same year. Mambo ilikuwa tough. Maisha ilikuwa rahisi. Pesa, magonjwa ndio hizo za corona zilikuwa mingi sana. So maisha ilikuwa rahisi vile, but with thank God niliweza kutoa wimbo na ukakubalika vizuri sana.
Wimbo wako ya kwanza kabisa ilikuwa gani?
Wimbo wangu wa kwanza unaitwa Nilinde.
Tell us about Nilinde na venye ulicompose Nilinde. Umesema ulianza 2020. Time yenye COVID ilikuwa imeshika. So watu walikuwa indoors and all that. Tell us about how you came, because mtu anaweza kuwa naona, how did you come up with that song and what was Nilinde all about?
Really, unajua when composing a song, huwezi sema nilikaa nikaamua niandike kuhusu hii ama hii. Holy Spirit ndio anakulead, and from there naona Nilinde iliongelelea tuseme exactly hiyo mwaka, cause people were dying. Watu walikuwa wanaogopa.
Wewe ukasema ulinde.
Niambia tu Mungu, wimbo wenye utanipea, nipe tu wimbo wenye at least wenye unaongelelea huu msimu, wenye utahili watu watakiwa pale nyumbani. Watu walikuwa nasikiliza huo wimbo, and I'm sure ilisaidia wengi. Cause ilikuwa like a prayer. So when someone akiimba hiyo wimbo ama aone naimba pale Nilinde, alijua kweli ni ombi.
Umesema watu walisikia time ya COVID. Najua kuna watu ambao wanatuwatch sasa hivi. I want them to listen to Nilinde. Na pia wape kionjo ya Nilinde. So producer, tucheze Nilinde nafikiri.
Right.
Naomba unichunguze ewe Bwana, naomba unichunguze ewe Yesu, naomba unichunguze ewe Bwana, naomba unichunguze ewe Yesu, kama vile mwewe alindavyo watoto wake, hivyo ndivyo nami naomba unilinde. Kama vile mwewe alindavyo watoto wake, hivyo ndivyo nami naomba unilinde. Nilinde in the mighty name of Jesus, mfalme wa vita, naomba unilinde. Nilinde in the mighty name of Jesus, mfalme wa vita, naomba unilinde. Tena unifinyange jinsi upendavyo, mimi ni chombo chako, uniponde ponde. Kwa kupigwa kwako mimi nimepona, kwa kusulubiwa Kwa kupigwa kwako mimi nimepona, kwa kusulubiwa nikaokolewa. Nilinde in the mighty name of Jesus, mfalme wa vita, naomba unilinde. Nilinde in the mighty name of Jesus, mfalme wa vita, naomba unilinde.
Nilinde.
Yeah.
Na unasema ndio ilikuwa ngoma yako ya kwanza?
Yeah, that was my first song ever kuandika, na ilikuja ina mighty way kwa sababu sikujua actually kama hiyo ndio itakuwa mwaka wangu wa wakati wa kuweza kuanza kuandika nyimbo. Naona watu walikuwa hiyo mwaka ilipelekesha watu yana si uongo. Ilipelekesha watu vibaya sana. And sasa ndio mko kwa nyumba mmejifungia and all of a sudden wimbo. Unaona? So Mungu alikuja ina mighty way.
Hiyo wakati ya COVID unasema ndio ulianza kuandika?
Yeah.
Because watu wako na make movements or no interactions hapa na karibu. How did you make kurekodi hiyo ngoma?
So mimi niliendanga tu studio na actually it was the first time I went to studio. Sikuwa hata najua hiyo place iko aje maje. So niliambianga rafiki yangu mwingine hapo anaimba pia nyimbo za gospel. Nikamwambianga napenda nyimbo zako and Mungu amenipea ufunuo mwaka at least. Kwanza nikamwekea ka lyrics hapo kenye nimeimba nini. I was so happy. Akasikiliza akamwambia, and I think you can sing. Hebu tuende nipeleke kwa studio yangu mahali nilifanya. Tukaenda. Mimi hata day one nilikuwa nimeenda kwa choir, ni nini mtu ufanya, ni nini mtu hitajika, unaona vitu kama hizo. Akaniambia bring hapo studio. Ebu imba chorus. Kuimba pia aliniambia hata uende nyumbani una record because niko na tension sijui how to go about it. But yeah, hiyo nilifanya the same day. Na ikakuwa tu.
Na tangu tu hiyo first music, there's always a credit here, the first music on how it changes your music career and how it builds your music career. For you, releasing that first song, Nilinde, how did it change your life and also change how you going to do your music going forward?
Yeah, I really thank God kwa sababu Nilinde being the first song, nimeweza kuandika nyimbo mingi sana. Na nimeweza kuandika nyimbo zaidi ya 20 zenye nimeandika. Zenye nimerekodi ni kama 8 right now. 9 zenye ziko hadi YouTube. Na nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu the more naona fans na watu wananipigia wakiniona wananiambia music yako imenisaidia. By the way watu kuna wenye wameniambia kabisa nimesikiza wimbo wako fulani. Mimi haki imeniponya, nilikuwa na go through a hard time nini. Na imenisaidia. So nikisikivo nasikia this is what I wanted. Na nashukuru Mungu zaidi na zaidi. Na naomba tu funuo nizidi. Unajua sasa hiyo tu ndio hitaji la moyo wangu, nizidi kuhubiria watu na watu waokoke, watu wapone. Wa find something in my music.
And tuongelee about, nilikuwa naangalia pia niliona ulifanya cover pia
Salama Rohoni.
That's a big song. Wewe kufanya hiyo cover, what did you drive you kufanya cover now that you say umeandika pia ngoma kama 20, you still have to do a cover?
Cover like that's a hymn song. Na napenda hymn song sana. So kulingana na pattern yangu vile nimesemanga nitakuwa na release song, I'll be doing a hymn song once in a while. Naeka nyimbo zangu kama 2 ama 3. Naeka hymn song. Huwa nasikianga inanijenga sana. Sasa sitaki kujengeka peke yangu.
Nasikia kujaza
zaidi. Sasa nataka at least kuna mwenye, by the way, kuna mwenye hata jisikio Salama Rohoni maybe hata na wengine. So kuna mwenye ananifollow anaona this is a nice song. So the more naenda nikitoa hymn song once in a while, ita change lives za wengi.
I think Salama Rohoni inaimbagwa na watu wengi, so masauti zinakuwa mbaya, lakini tusikize yako venye uliimba Salama Rohoni.
Sana
Yeah.
Ni salama rohoni. Vocals za hiyo music. Hata my producer nakubali zilikuwa kali. There's always a challenge kufanya ngoma ambayo already iko in the public domain and people have sung it in different versions, and for you to bring out the best. What is your biggest challenge, especially kuri sing hizi hymn songs?
Yeah, like as I have just said, napenda hymn song, na huu ni wimbo hata before nianze kutunga nyimbo nilikuwa naulizanga Mungu, cause nikiimba nilikuwa nasikia na toa tune poa. I'm like sikuwa nimepewa ufunuo kwanza kwamba venye unaweza kuwa na uwezo wa kucompose my own songs. So nilipenda huu wimbo sana na nilikuwa naambia Mungu, hata kama sitakuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kucompose wimbo, huu wimbo nitakuja kuingia studio siku moja na ni uimbe. Yeah, so hiyo ilikuwa already my goal hata before nianze hadi kuandika hizi nyimbo zenyewe.
Kwa hivyo wewe ukupata challenge yote amba kuimba the hymn songs. Right. Let's talk about kuna umesema kwamba umeanza muziki 2020.
Rasmi.
Na ukachukua vizuri sana na umesema kwamba music zako zimekubalika. Your songs have been accepted and they are good songs, so to say. Your releases are very good songs. But there is this claim that it may re-emerge recently, you know. I don't know if you've come across it in the statement made by Eric Omondi. I don't know if you came across them when he was talking about, you know, gospel artists yani wamekufa kabisa, yani hakuna gospel inaimbwa Kenya, na kwamba wenye wanaimba tayari wamesha refocus, wametoka kwa ministry, wao tu ni kutafuta pesa huko. What do you make of such, you know, sentiments kwa kuhusu gospel artists, considering wewe umeanza juzi na kwamba si ministry uliamka siku moja kama ufanye, kwamba ni kitu ili build up for some time for you to start? What do you make of those remarks?
You know, unaona senye mtu anaanza kitu unafanga kwanza unamtanguliza Mungu na unaomba, yani ombi inakuwa ndio silaha yako. Cause hii hata kuswipe unatoka unaingia kwa secular, usidhani ati ni kitu tu rahisi. As in si kitu ngumu, that is usipoomba ni kitu rahisi sana. So unafaa unatanguliza Mungu kwa kila jambo na usikuwe na tamaa ya pesa ama cause I think most of the time tamaa ya pesa na kutrend all that ndio uanga sometimes inasukumilia mtu. Unaona song yangu nimeimba 5 years sina hata subscribers hawajafika 1000. Na huyo ameanza juzi anaimba secular, ona wacha nijaribu hizo pressure. So sioni si kitu ya kukimbilia. Unafaa uende kwa pesi yako, uenda tu pole. Nyimbo zako you never know 10 years to come zitakuwa zinabariki. Hata wenye wamejump to secular songs zao, kuna mwenye kabisa usikiliza wimbo anasema kama si wimbo wa fulani sijui kama ningekuwa nimeokoka leo, yani ulinibeba na ukanibadilisha maisha sana. So but bado Mungu ni wajabu, cause I'm very sure anaweza wa change warudi kwa Mungu kabisa. Imagine wanaweza warudisha kwa Mungu vizuri sana.
Kutoka sio shida, kurudi pia sio shida.
I know, unajua Mungu ni wajabu kwa sababu unambanga Mungu anaweza tumia chochote, kiumbe kile tu. Hata ilisemekana hata tusipoimba atainua mawe ya msifu. Sasa huyu mwenye ana sauti, yes, ana composes nyimbo zingine. So Mungu ana uwezo wa kumbadilisha na kumrudisha tu pale.
Alright, I think that's a good point. Na tukimalizia because I'm told we have some few minutes. Let's talk about your advice kwa ulianza 2020 wakati wa mashida mingi nini. Na kuna mtu anaanza tu music kukua kuzuri, maybe the temperature music iko sawa. What would be your final advice kwa mtu mwenye anakuangalia na anasikiza ngoma zako anasema nzuri, mwingine anataka kuanza muziki? What would be your final remarks to them?
Okay. Mwaka wa 2020 naweza sema kwangu ulikuwa mbaya ama mgumu, na wengine bado wanaweza kusema 2020 ilikuwa mzuri sana. So inategemea msimu wa mtu, na kama uko pale nje na unataka kuanza music, ni kitu mzuri, fanya ukijua ni nini umekusudia kufanya. Usikue leo like na nikaimba na au imbaji wana huko Tanzania ama wapi, sinaweza hit. Yani usikuwa umejigawagawa akili. Anzisha, umweke Mungu mbele, omba, omba sana. Yeah, na Mungu atakuweka kwa njia inayofaa.
Na kwa mtu mwenye anakutafuta anataka someone would be watching na amesema kwamba naweza taka nifanye muziki na wewe na penda pia unishike mkono. What is your social media handles? Wapi watu wanaweza kupata na wapate pia music yako yote?
YouTube kuna nyimbo zangu pale. Ukiclick type jina Catherine K Music. Utapata pale nyimbo zangu, subscribe, zitazame, make sure una watch. Unajua kufika pale usubscribe na uende haitakuwa imekusaidia. Cause mimi madhumuni yangu ni watch hiyo wimbo, usikilize message, ikujenge, share to other people, wajengeke pia wao. Facebook najita Catherine K, niko na Catherine K, alafu Catherine K Music Ministry page yangu. Niko TikTok Catherine K official. So once ukisha type Catherine K, most cases itapia tu hapo. Instagram Catherine K. Twitter.
Let's talk about your song Irene. Tuambie kuhusu muziki, ulikuwa uliutunga kwa agenda gani, message ni gani, na kwa mtu mwenye ambaye bado hajasikia manake tutakuwa tunafunga naye. What is the message behind Irene and you know the making of Irene?
Like the song Irene, unatawala. Hiyo ni wimbo yenye namrudishia Mungu shukrani na sifa, na miminia sifa kwa makuu yenye ametenda kwa maisha yangu. Maisha ijakuwa too smooth. Nimekuwa na ups and downs. Nishaikuwa chokora after losing my parents, no siblings, nimezaliwa peke yangu pale kwetu. So maisha kwangu kuna wakati ilikuwa inanislap vibaya. So huu wimbo ulikuja kama kumrudishia Mungu shukrani because I almost gave up. So huu wimbo ni kumpa Mungu shukrani na sifa kwa sababu nimeona akitenda na anatawala milele. Nimemtumainia na nimeamini kuwa anatenda na anatawala milele. So nataka hii message at least kuna mtu pale nje maybe anasikia ni maisha sikiliza huo wimbo na utakubariki na utakuinua. You Reign by Catherine K.
And that is where we wind up this segment ya Entertainment Friday. Nashukuru sana you made time also to make here and kujitambulisha kwa watu pia wajue muziki yako na give a hope to people that perhaps are looking up to you and they have been seeing your music but now they have been able to see you sit on the same chair that many of you have sat. Thank you so much for making time kukuja hapa asubuhi.
Thank you
that we can have some other longer time.
Asante, na ningependa ni wasalimu washirika wa kanisa la Victory Center Comarox wenye watu nashiriki nao pale under Bishop Karanja na Mom Gloria, na wapenda na nawashukuru sana kwa kunishikilia mkono.
Au niambie ulikuwa umetumwa salamu ningekunyima ungepigwa huko kwenye
I know.
but that's so much good. I think we'll be winding up with great. See you next week on Friday, same time, same show but different guests. But all we do is take a review of what the week has been and wind up with the entertainment segment. But now tunafanya You Reign by Catherine K Music tukimaliza. See you next week on Friday. Goodbye. My name is Chris Sam.
Unayejua mwisho kabla ya mwanzo, watambulika shujaa wa msalaba. Wewe ni ngao tena ngome imara, Simba wa Yuda hakuna likushindalo. Unayejua mwisho kabla ya mwanzo, watambulika shujaa wa msalaba. Wewe ni ngao tena ngome ready, oh, oh, oh.